Hi, this is Paul, and today's video is going to feature Quizlet. Quizlet is a compact, easy-to-use way to practice material that you need to learn. Using Quizlet's features can help you take your academics to new heights. The first thing new Quizlet users should do is plan ahead. Think about the content that you need to learn. On Quizlet, you can use this information to create study sets, which are essentially a bunch of terms and definitions. Think digital flashcards. There are two ways to get study sets on Quizlet. One, you can make one yourself, or two, you could find a set someone else has made. Most of the information in a social studies class, for example, doesn't change from year to year, so using someone else's study set is a great way to save time. And Quizlet has tons of sets available from past students and teachers. However, if your material is more specific, you might want to think about making your own study set. Let's talk about how to make a study set. After you make an account, you can go and create a study set. So I'm going to navigate to the page, and you see I have Quizlet logged on here. I'm going to click on Create, where I can make a study set, a folder, a class. For now, we're going to focus on study sets. I've already started one here for my upcoming social studies unit. And I can go ahead and give it a title and maybe a short description. As I scroll down, I could take a look at typing in a word and talking and making sure that I'm selecting the language that I want the study set to be translated to. I'm just going to stick with English to English. So as I type in a term like I've done here, post-classical period, what's really great about Quizlet is that if I tap on the next side, it will automatically start to give me some choices, and this may help out an awful lot. So for now, I'll just click here and allow that to be the case. I can continue to type in different terms, such as the ruler of this time period. And again, I start to see different things. And as I type something in or use the suggested terms and phrases, I can begin to edit this as much or as little as I want. So for example, maybe I'm going to get rid of this whole first part. So I can go like this and just hit the delete key. And I'll add some text in, and I'll leave it like that. So I can go on, as you might guess, by just adding cards and filling in terms and definitions. Another great advantage to Quizlet is after I've added a term and a definition, I could even add an image. Now I'm only using the free version. So in the free version, I am only going to have a selected number of images that I could choose from. If I click on upload my own image, it's going to go to the paid version. For now, I'll just click this and leave it as it is. So, and additionally, I should point out that if I start clicking on some of the other added features here, this is an upgrade, which again, we're just going to be focusing on the free version of Quizlet. An important part to creating study sets is saving time. So I could go ahead and import from a Word or Excel or Google Docs file. You'll notice on my page here that I already have a tab open. Let me show you what it looks like, where I have created a 2-column chart with a whole bunch of phrases, or terms and phrases or definitions. So as I go in and click on import from, in this case it's a Google sheet, it's going to ask me to import my data by simply copying and pasting. And I do have a couple of ways in which I can tell Quizlet the difference between the term and the definition. Maybe I use a tab or a comma, or I can customize it. For now, all I'm going to do is click on my spreadsheet, and I'm going to select an area for my social studies unit, and I have about just under 30 words, and I'm going to copy this and now paste it into this window here at the top. And if you glance down at the bottom, I start to see that all of my terms have been filled in and all of my definitions have been filled in appropriately for each card. So if I scroll down to card number 29, the last term on the list, I'll see that it's all set. At this point, I can click import, and now I've just saved a ton of time from something that I've already created in a previous document. It's even telling me that I have a duplicate term, so which is a great warning for us. I'm going to ignore this. I like the definition that's here with the picture, and I'm just going to go down and delete this card. While I'm here, I may choose to rearrange things. Maybe I want to bring this card of Justinian down to where it had been in the previous list. And you can see just by dragging and dropping, I can move some cards along and do that. Now I'm grabbing card number 4. It's now card number 3, and so on. So far, we've talked about creating decks by typing in a term, typing in a definition, or using the suggested language, editing it, and then also adding in an image if that's what we chose to do. From here, I can now create my deck. So after saving my study set, I can go in and check out my library and see where I have, in this, you can see I have other sets, but the most recent one that I worked on is right here. And after clicking into it, here's the title, the Byzantine and Islam study deck, the first card. And if I advance to the next card, you could see card 2 of 30, 3 of 30. I could flip the card over and get some definitions for each of the flashcards. You'll notice that there's a variety of different study modes. Probably the most popular is flashcards. But then there's learn, write, spell, and test. And I encourage you to try out those different study modes once you share your deck. There's also a few games, match, gravity, and live. I do like setting my flashcard study deck to matching games and sharing that into my LMS. In my school, we use Schoology, so I'm going to show you how I do that. At the bottom of the page, I can go in and click on the triple dot where I can then embed this deck of cards into my learning management system so that it's a one-stop shop for my students. In other words, I don't have to share the link and they don't have to go out of my course to use my study materials. I'm going to click on embed. From here, I have a choice of which study mode I want to present as the first item that the kids would see. And I'm going to use match and click on the copy HTML. You'll notice that it highlights the material below. And that since I've done that, I can go over to my LMS. You can see I have an open tab ready. And I'm going to edit this page. And if you've used Schoology before, you might know how to add in YouTube videos and other HTML code. Here is insert content. There's a variety of ways to do this. This is my preference. Click on from the web. It's a media source, and here I'm going to paste in my HTML code that I copied from Quizlet. And now that I have that, I'll tap Insert Media, and you can see in edit mode, here is what eventually will be the Quizlet cards. So now that I've done that, I will click Save Changes in Schoology. And when the students open this up, they will get a chance to play the game. And if I start the game here, a variety of terms and a variety of phrases, definitions, will appear. And students can make a game of it, trying to work their way through it. This will only go through 12 different, actually 6 different terms at a time. And so once they reset this, a different set of words might come up, mixing and matching the deck. I could, if I'm a student, select other study modes. So if I went to flashcards, which is probably one of the most popular, I can click on it. I can even hit the microphone.
Post-classical period.
To get the definitions read to me.
600 CE, 1450 C.
And I could advance to the next card, flip it as necessary, and go on. So I'd encourage you to test and practice as you make your own decks. on how the student is going to see the end product. I do prefer adding this into my LMS and keeping it, again, sort of a closed space for my students. I hope this has been helpful.